Hey crew, it's Ben, and I'm back with another reaction video. Today we're going to be checking out my boy Buddy Brown. This is if we dropped 1,000,000 rednecks on the Russian border. I'm going to be very careful here because I do not for a second buy the mainstream narrative coming out about this situation. I am in no way, shape, or form a fan of Vladimir at all in any way. His people seem to be fine with the way that he governs, so I don't get involved in the way that they do things. The situation with the Ukrainians is a situation that is far too complex for me to get involved in. But Buddy gets funny shit, so I'm going to check him out and see what's up. I have been intentionally avoiding a lot of these videos, but I'm not going to. I'm about to do this with Anna Tyson. So let's see what's up. This is If We Drop 1,000,000 Rednecks on the Russian Border by Buddy Brown. Let's go.
So I got a plan for world peace, y'all, and it's so beautiful
I like that shirt.
that when I get done, you're gonna be wiping tears away from your eyes with the exuberant joy that you're feeling. Here's my plan. We send 1,000,000 rednecks to the Russia-Ukraine border. Now what would happen if we did all that? I was just thinking the other day, first
They would shoot the wrong people.
off, the Russians are starving to death because they ain't got no food. Looks like old Vladimir forgot to hook his boys up with Uber Eats out.
All right, so this is going to be the one. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put on a hat real quick. And no, it's not tinfoil. I want you to put on a critical thinking hat with me. Please, just for a minute. I understand that what I am saying here goes completely against everybody else. But suppose, just for a second, that you were like the third largest country on the earth, and that you had one of the largest military capabilities on the planet. Would you send them in to take over a country on your border with no support? They would run out of gas. They would run out of food. Does that sound like something that somebody would make a decision to do? That there would not be a supply line, a basic supply line for combat necessities? Just for a second, just think about it. That's like the video of the missile strike on the civilian apartment complex, right? We live in the era of videotape. Everybody in the world has one of these things, and they have one of these things on this thing. They have it with them all the time in most of the civilized world, right? There's always somebody with a cell phone nearby. Would you, as the leader of a country who's trying to come off as simply assisting someone, order a strike against an apartment complex? Like, I'm not a fan of the guy, but it makes no sense. There is zero tactical reason for that. The only thing that is accomplished by that is to look bad. Like, if you want to come off as the asshole Hitler of the world, then yeah, you're going to order a strike on an apartment complex. But if you're not, if you're on the media telling everybody ahead of time, hey, we're about to help these two states become free, why, under any circumstance whatsoever, would you do that? You would go out of your way to go around. If it was like the Palestinians and they had artillery in the apartment, you would go out of your way to avoid that area. You would not bomb it. It doesn't make sense. The only thing that does is make you look bad. Period. Putin knows optics. He has been using them for my entire life. He's from the KGB. He's not going to make that mistake. It's not going to happen. That's not to say he's a god or whatever. But if he decided to make that choice, which that wouldn't be his frontline choice, His generals know better. Everybody in the chain of command knows better than to order a fucking rocket attack against a civilian apartment complex. Everybody knows that. And if you think that what we're being fed is legitimate simply because Putin comes from the former Soviet Union, you got a problem. And that is being too far out on that right wing. I tell y'all all the time, I'm very middle of the road. And when I say that, I really do mean it. Like, I don't want to be on the far right or the far left. I am perfectly happy with people pissed off at me on both sides. But if you believe that this is happening like the fucking media is telling you, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're beyond redemption. There is no hope. They have lied about every single thing for 6 straight years. Verifiably made up things. Even if you believe that what happened here to kick off the Gulf War really happened the way it did, how could you look at the rest of history, the Bay of Pigs, all of the things that we have done, and still say, yeah, that looks like that absolutely looks like an invasion by Russia? That's all I'm saying. I know that was a very long rant. That is probably a longer rant than this entire video. But Buddy is very Wolverine, and I'm with him. I hate a commie. I do. I don't like communism at all. I have zero tolerance for communism. But something's fishy here. Like, this shit smells like tuna. Somebody get some Massengill.
There because they ain't got nothing to eat. I'd send a massive care package of vodka to the Russian troops. They'd be so drunk out of their minds because they got an empty stomach right now. Then I would wave a big old white flag and say, I'm calling for a 24-hour truce, boys. I'd tell them this whole thing is ridiculous. They don't have to fight a dictator's war because a lot of these guys don't want anything to do with this invasion to begin with. I would offer them American citizenship to anyone who leaves the Russian army, and I would trade them 2 American Democrats, or rhinos, same thing, from America for each Russian soldier that we get. For anyone...
I'm with that, to a certain extent. Like, he's obviously buying the narrative. And, like, it's so funny to see these people who know the media lie. Buddy has been on here telling us the media's lying. And everybody's like, well, I'm seeing cell phone footage. Some of that cell phone footage is from fucking Israel. Some of it is a meme.
That is still evil enough to...
On the news, they sharing memes.
Carry out Comrade Putin's plans, the U.S. government would equip 1 million rednecks with missiles.
And also, Russia is not communist. China's communist. Russia is not. I wouldn't call them a democratic republic. They're more like an oligarchy or whatever. But, like, for real, they're not communist. It's not a communist party anymore.
Missiles attached to monster trucks, armor-plated monster trucks, mind you, to go in there and take care of that.
Like, in a lot of ways, Russia is more libertarian than the United States has ever been.
Convoy. We would need some air support, so I would call in Maverick and Goose.
Which, by the way, is equally as dumb as communism.
To go ahead and soften those targets and drop a bunch of vacuum bombs. We would shell the living hell out of those Russians. And at that point, when Putin had absolutely no protection
vacuum bomb
left, I would send in Dog the Bounty Hunter to personally apprehend Putin. And then I'd have him do what William Wallace suggested the English commander do in front of the Scottish army, which is to put his head between his legs and kiss his own ass. Now you might ask, is all this legal for us to revoke citizenship from American commies and send them over to Russia? Of course not. But if Joe Biden has taught us anything, it's that legality really doesn't matter.
Alright, so I'm picking up a better vibe on this. Like, I was really thinking, there's so many of them, man. There's just so many people that have been, like, awake. And then just, like, all of a sudden, the fucking media is telling the truth. Because communism bad. It's like, it's not even the communists, though.
Anymore. Now, The million rednecks with armor-plated monster trucks would then tap into Russia's oil reserves, and they'd fill up all their tanks, drive down to Afghanistan, and reclaim
Well, that would deplete the reserves, yes.
the billions and billions of dollars of U.S. equipment that was left down there. Now, for any Taliban members that wanted to resist, they would be forced to endure tortures, such as a 3-day lecture from Whoopi Goldberg and Kamala Harris, both of them. You gotta listen to the whole thing.
Did y'all see Joey Behar bust her ass? I normally don't laugh at that kind of shit. I don't. I'm like, oh, that sucks. I saw that bitch fall off that chair. I rolled.
In your
I wish I would have done a reaction video to it, but it was way too short.
translation, so make sure you understand. Who's paying for all this massive transportation, you might ask? Not the USA. Let's make good old Justin Trudeau pay for all that stuff, because he's made the world pay for enough already. We would make Trudeau pay for the transport of all the monster trucks back to America, and the rednecks would then drive up to Ottawa and relieve the Canadian truckers. We would send Trudeau to Dutton Ranch, where he would clean out horse stalls for the next 25 years under the supervision of Rip Wheeler. I would personally hold a state
I think that's a Yosemite or Yellowstone or whatever the fuck that is reference, right?
of the Union address, and then say, congratulations, Congress. We now have term limits. You can only have a term for 2 years. That's all
that.
you get. Lastly, for a little
Our problem isn't the term limits, though. It's the fact that people just keep electing the same dumbasses. It's political apathy. That's what our problem is. I don't care. I don't care about politics. That don't affect me.
prison reform. Anybody who's ever been convicted of terrorism, rape, or murder will receive the firing squad by midnight that night. I would declassify the names of everybody who's ever been associated with Epstein Island and hold a nationwide barbecue and
I'm with that. Some wood chippers and a barbecue sound real fucking nice for that one.
declare that day a new holiday, a new American holiday. No one would care about race because everybody left would be all for one and one for all.
Kid fucker eradication day. I'm down for that.
Men over 60 would have to
K-Fed.
call a doctor after experiencing freedom for over 4 hours. That's the kind of America I know and love. If you want to live in a country like that, subscribe, because I'm ready to lead it.
All right,
God
I'm gonna let
bless
it play
y'all.
on out. Y'all know how we do. Y'all make sure y'all get back over to Buddy Brown's page, give him a like, give him a share, give him a sub, throw him a comment down below. He had me going for a minute there. I really thought he was being serious. Like, there is so much of that going on, y'all. It's insane to see people that know better, know that the people lie, know that they completely fabricate facts, and still just believe it. Like, because Putin's bad, just believe it. Yeah. Like I said, I'm full on Wolverine. If I see the commies in the sky, it's on like a chicken bone, son. We rolling. But like this situation is intensely like it's so complicated that you have to literally be there to understand any of it. And everything coming out. Like they were telling people on the news the ghost of Kiev was a real thing. That there was really a MiG shooting down Russian fighter planes. 6 in one day. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Listen here, fat. Anyway, Buddy Brown, I thank you for this. I love a good conversation starter, and you're always bringing me a good conversation starter. So thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all make sure y'all get back and check him out. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me. And I am praying for you every single day. Till next time, this has been Pit Steak. Peace.